Chargers fans, the NFL draft is completed. Joel Tees and Jim Harbaugh had another successful draft this second go around. And I'm here to evaluate rounds 4 and 5 on the NFL draft and what they did in those 3 picks. Let's get into it.
Better than us. Nobody.
All right. So we're here to break down picks 4 and 5, rounds 4 and 5 today in regards to what the Chargers did in the NFL draft. Now, if you haven't checked out my video, picks 1 through 3, check that out on the channel as well. Like, comment, and subscribe to those videos and let me know how you feel about those particular evaluations. So rounds 4 and 5 were very interesting. Some surprises to me. I'm very shocked at round 4, especially what they were able to get. But yeah, we're going to get into exactly what they did in round 4 and 5. They were able to trade up in round 5 and get a second, 5th round pick. They gave up. They had 4 6 rounders, so they gave up 2 of those to trade up in the 5th round to get a 5th overall pick, and they was eyeing a guy that they wanted to grab. So let's start with the 4th round. Let's get into that first and foremost. So very shocked and in awe of what they did in the 4th round. I really am. I was not expecting this at all. I call this guy Mr. Underrated. I'm just not understanding exactly how this guy fell to the 4th round, but I'm glad he did. And we're talking about Kyle Kennard. Kyle Kennard is the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. He led the SEC, which is the premier division in college football, in sacks. Well, I believe over 11, almost 12 sacks this past season in 2024. He's 6'4", 254 pounds, lean, slender frame, very quick off the edge, powerful. I mean, he has all the superlatives that will let you know that he has the prototypical pedigree to be an NFL edge rusher in this league. Now, why he fell to the 4th round, again, I'm very puzzled at that. But let's talk about the evaluation of it as a whole. I really like the pick for the Chargers. I really do. I can't say enough about it. Like I said, SEC Player of the Year. He led the SEC in sacks. He won the Best Defensive Lineman Award. And how did he fall to round 4? I don't know, but I'm here for it. I do know why, because some of his measurables kind of made people wonder, maybe giving them a bit of pause. But I'm not upset if he fell to the Chargers at this pick, because in round 4, outside of some very developmental players, I didn't think the Chargers had a shot at landing anybody of value on the edge they can get in the 4th round, and they did end up doing it. Now, I will say this, that he's likely going to start as a DPR. And what is a DPR? A DPR is a designated pass rusher. He's not going to be a 3-down lineman to begin with, because he does have some inconsistencies, and he does lack sustainability in the run game and setting the edge. Now, with that being said, I would argue that he landed in a great spot, because he's going to learn how to do those things and be better at those things from none other than Khalil Mack, who's one of the best at it, at setting the edge, stopping the run, and just being an overall good run defender off the edge, period, in his whole entire career. So who better to learn from than Khalil Mack in that particular space? But outside of that, again, he's going to be a designated pass rusher, and he's going to be that 3rd down guy that's going to come in and going to get after the quarterback early on. But I think his kid can really round out to be a really good NFL player if he gets the right tutelage. And I think he's going to be in the right spot. For at least a year, Khalil Mack's going to be the guy. But the upside for this guy is massive. I think it's very high. He has a very high ceiling. Now, he has a unique blend of speed and power. Like, he comes off the edge like a speed rusher, but he plays with power. So that kind of confuses tackles in a lot of spaces, get them off balance. So that's something he definitely can exploit in the NFL. On top of the fact that I think that, if he expands his pass rushing tool bag, he can definitely be a very good 3-down edge defender in this league. And I think that he could be a 3-down edge player. Now, he may need to pack on maybe 5 or 10 pounds in all honesty and muscle to be able to sustain that level of play. But I think he can do it. He's young. He's fit. He's ready to go. I think he's a very good value pick of round 4. Again, I'm still scratching my head on how he fell that far, but listen, I think the Chargers got to steal in the round 4. I'm here to tell you, I really do think this kid is going to be a dominant player. And again, if you can't get what I'm saying by just me verbalizing the cut on the film, just go to YouTube and Google his tape for the last couple of years. Now, I will say that, he did struggle a little bit in his first 3 years, but he turned it on in his senior years. Some people are late bloomers, and I think he might be one of them. So look out for Kyle Kennard in the 2025 season if he stays out there. I'm hoping and praying that he does. He doesn't have an injury history at all, but again, it's the NFL. You got a 99% chance of being hurt at some point. So it is what it is. But I love this kid. I think he has a tremendous upside. I think he's going to be what the Chargers need as far as getting younger in the edge rushing room. I spoke a lot about this early on in my coverage about how we need to get younger and more faster on the edge to get after these mobile quarterbacks, and I think they hit that spot on. So I give that grade a B plus. Again, the only thing that's really knocking him is his run defense and his edge setting, but his pure pass running ability, just raw talent, he's it. He's definitely it. All right, so moving on to the next guy that got drafted in the 5th round, we're going to talk about Keandre Lambert-Smith. Now, another shocking pick for me. Now, I will say this. Now, if you watch my video, my first 3 picks, I was very critical of Trey Harris. I didn't see a lot of juice in this play on the field. Like, he's a very good, contested catch, was Mike Williams-esque type of wide receiver, but I didn't see a lot of juice there as far as being a field stretcher, overall complete wide receiver. I feel like he has a certain skill set, and that was kind of it. But I kind of simmered down a little bit on that, and I'm going to kind of hedge my bet because I did understand after doing my coverage that he was hampered by a groin injury and a sports hernia for most of the 2024 season. So he may come back, once he's fully healthy and fully right, that he may come back and be more explosive. I'm hoping for that. But it comes down to explosiveness. I will say that Keandre showed that to me on film early on. I watched film on him right after they drafted him, and listen, when I see this kid on film, he has speed, he has twitch. His run after the catch was very eye-opening. I saw on a very surface level a more exciting player than Trey looks like me on film. But again, I'm gonna give Trey some grace, because again, he was hurt most of the year and he played through a lot of that. So I'll give him a lot of grit and toughness for fighting through that and still playing and still producing despite those injuries. So I'm gonna give Trey some grace. But what I see in Keandre Lambert-Smith here, this kid can ultimately be a weapon if you use him right. If you mold him and use him right, I think he can definitely be a spark plug in the deep threat as well as the overall solid, multifaceted wide receiver in this league. I really think if you hone his skills right, you can. He has a lot of athletic tools that you would love. I mean, he runs a 4.3. He's over 6 feet tall, as you can see. We talking 6'1", 190 from 4.37. He can take the top off defenses. He runs faster and it runs away from people very easily if you don't get your hands on him quickly. So I think this kid has a lot of juice. I think that I would say that I think he might be what they wanted out of Quentin Johnston. In all honesty, his run out of catch ability, his speed, his ability to stretch the field, just overall weapon. I think he could be an overall weapon for this particular chart regime of the Chargers offense. And I think he'll be a very good asset for Justin Herbert if they use him right. So I'm really high on this pick. I really like what he does. Again, I say a lot of juice in this kid. I think that if they truly harness his skills and they utilize him properly, I think he could be a breakout receiver. Now, and that's all speculation now because it's April and the Chargers don't get on the field until the summer. And I'm just going to be honest about that. But I do see a lot of juice in this kid. He needs a little bit of refinement in his route running. He needs to expand it to a more complex route tree in the NFL. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to start to blame some college coaches for those particular, I guess you can say, shortcomings, because all they do is run these kids. I'm talking about Trey's situation and Keandre's situation. All they do is run these kids on hitches and goals and bubble screens and slants. They don't run any deep over routes, no timing rhythm comebacks, no, deep outs, no timing and rhythm, any type of time and rhythm routes that require, complexity, right? So, it's almost like they're doing them a disservice by not, really expanding their ability to run routes in the college game that will translate to the league. But whatever, crowd will spill milk. But I think that outside of him refining his route tree a little bit, I think this kid has a lot of upside and good potential if you utilize him right. So I'm definitely thinking he can develop into a really high-end player if you play your cards right, but I think he can be legit in the NFL if you do it right. So we'll see how things go, but I definitely love this pick as well, and I think I'm excited to see what he can do on the field. So I'm going to give him a C+. All right, sir, and to round it out here, in the 5th round, like I said, they traded up to get another player in the 5th round and into the 5th round. And I'm going to say that they did pretty well in the 5th round with this guy too. Oronde Gaskin II. They called him OG. So 6'5", 243 pounds, runs the 4.6, 240. He's a wide receiver in the tight end's body. I mean, just slender frame. He's definitely a move tight end. He's it's more of an off the ball, not an inline at all tight end. Not gonna be lined up on the line of scrimmage. He's gonna be flexed out and line up in the slot and in the outside boundary and things of that nature to be able to catch passes. He is a prototypical pass catching tight end. He's not a every down gritty blocking type of tight end. He's not that. But I can see the vision of what they wanted to do with him. Again, like I said, they traded up to get him, gave up 2-6. And what I would like I said, what I would say about him is this: like I said, he's a wide receiver chopping in a tight end's body. I was pounding the table for the likes of Mason Taylor and Terrence Ferguson, but for them to pick him maybe in the early third round, but they were snagged up in a second, so there wasn't really a whole lot of things you can do about that. But I will say that they did get a lot of value for this pick in this fifth round pick. Now, OG is really good as a situational pass catcher. I can see what they're going to do with him, kind of like what they started to do with Stone Smart last year. They would take Will Dissly off the field or Hayden Hurst, whoever's on the field at the time, and utilize Stone Smart in passing downs. I can see a similar role for OG. I think they're going to use him to be able to add another receiving threat on the field on those obvious passing downs. Like I say, he's not a blocker. He has a very lean frame. Like I said, I think he might have been a former receiver turned tight end, but he did put on the weight. He's 240 pounds, so I definitely give him credit for having the frame of a tight end versus being like 220, 230 trying to play tight end. So I will obviously think that he's going to be a situational pass catching tight end versus every down guy early on, but I can see the value there. I think he could be a type of guy that can bail Herbert out in some spots where you need a contested one-on-one, ball to come down in your favor. He's really good at the contested point, going up and getting contested catches against defenders. He really owns that. He's a really big target, as you can see. So I think that he's going to be very valuable to Justin Herbert in those pass down situations. So I can see the vision and what his usage is going to be. He's going to get on the field in those late second and long type of situations where you need that extra guy, that extra big body in the red zone or in, that's get those first downs in the middle of the field. So I definitely think that I see the value here. And I think that he's not going to be what they are looking for in an everyday 3-down type of tight end just yet. We're still on a hunt for that. But I think they got a really good value at the fifth round to get him with his skill set and his speed. I think it's a really good value pick. So I like the pick as well. So we'll see how things roll with OG, but I like his skill set and what he does on film, and we'll see. But I guess I give that a C+ grade as well for the fifth round, and it's definitely looking up for the Chargers. They definitely got a lot of talent here in the first 6 picks of the draft, and we're going to be back on Friday to break down the last 3 picks and what the Chargers did. But as always, man, let me know how you feel about these guys in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. Let the algorithm YouTube know we're out there and let you know they're enjoying our content. And we'll be back on Friday with our last evaluation of the draft class. And let me know how you guys feel about those as well. But in the meantime, between time, the I'm your boy coach defense. And you always got to remember to bolt up.